Facebook group. Yeah, let me just share. This is on timeline on your group. Okay, so let me just share this, and I think we can start. I was making this today. I'm not sure if you guys can see. So I was making this just now using Lena's recipe. So I have a few questions later, like while you're cooking, so that I can know whether I'm doing it right or not. This is like the salsa verde.
Perfect.
Oh my god, I just made this.
You
Okay.
make the salsa as well. So you
Oh,
do have these, right?
not really in that form. That's tomatillo, right? So we have
Yes.
actually tomato, but I'm not sure whether there's a difference. Yeah.
Well, yes, it's a totally different plant. This one is more like a ground cherry. Look. But you can also, actually, this is a technique. You can make this with red tomatoes, green tomatoes. You can make nothing but chilies and oil, you know.
It looks so pretty.
Yeah, this is the tomatillo.
Let me see if we are live. I can't seem to log out on my iPad. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll just use my Facebook. Let me see if we live right now.
And I just went for two chilies because I don't eat very spicy. You can
Ah,
go, you can go for 10.
yeah, I was like telling you like what kind of chilies that was available here. So
Okay,
I'm sure they will be asking as well. Uh,
perfect.
share. Let me just see if we are actually online. Check community. I am here. Oh, so we are actually live. I think. Yep, we are actually live now. I'll be like looking at all the answers, the questions. So there's a lot
Perfect.
of people who has already joined us. So there's Azza Arch who said hola, and Azni was like hi, and our other TM, which is Rosita, she was like, hi Lena, thanks for willing to spend some time to show us how to cook Mexican food today.
Hi,
Yeah, and
everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll be starting with the tortilla dough because it needs a 15-minute rest. And while it rests, we're starting the salsa. And while the salsa rests, we're making the tortillas. And at the end, we're making the um, the salsa. Okay.
nice. Nice.
So let me start here. I just need my water. It's very hot, but I need it boiling. So just give me a minute so that it boils again. It's actually very easy and very straightforward. This recipe I adapted from a very old aunt, a sister to my grandma. And usually, well, traditionally in Mexico, the recipe used lard. And then lard became vegetable lard,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
very healthy. And so I
yeah.
adapted it and went for oil, which is which is better. And that way you can pick any oil you want. Plus the recipe is usually like for a huge family. And
Yeah.
I was like, this doesn't work for me. And so I went for a smaller, I scaled it down.
Nice. I actually half the recipe because like I have a very small family of three. So like half of your recipe is just like perfect for like one.
Exactly. And me, I usually, what I do is I mostly make them when I'm having people over because I only
Mm,
cook for myself.
yeah.
And so every recipe is huge.
Yeah.
Mexican recipes are usually for 20, 15, because the whole family is
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
or you cook for several families.
yeah.
That's what people usually do. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I just like wanted to share as well because during our all hands, I think I haven't shared with the group. Like during our all hands, it was shocking to find out that not every household has their own kitchen because like you cook for the entire community or the entire neighborhood, which
exactly.
you know,
And
yeah,
kitchens aren't usually inside the houses, they're usually outside.
mm,
the
Oh,
house,
that's
and
interesting.
they traditional Mexican cuisine still use wood for cooking.
Oh,
So yeah, and look at this.
that's it.
I mean, look at the size of this kitchen. This is it. And
Cute.
and most kitchens are like this. This is like a, I don't know, 1945-ish, 50-ish apartment. And
Uh-huh.
this is the kitchen for a family because people don't eat at home.
I
So you
see.
just come here and you, I don't know, maybe you make coffee or you reheat something, but you don't cook. And so I adapted and I went up to the ceiling
Yeah,
because I do
that's
cook, right?
yeah.
So
That's clever.
yeah, yeah, but
Okay,
it's
let's
really interesting and it's so shocking. It's so
yeah,
shocking because
yeah.
I mean, modern houses do have a large kitchen, but
Mm,
most people still don't use them. They're for show,
mm.
which is really interesting. Okay, so I already measured the flour. So it's flour, baking powder, our salt. Let me just go with the oil. So it's a quarter of a cup neutral oil. Today I'm going for avocado oil because it's very healthy. It doesn't taste of anything and it
I,
stands
I
the
want
heat.
I wanted to ask you like what does neutral oil mean? Because like I know there's like olive oil and other like corn oil, but I
Exactly.
think because of the time difference it was a bit hard to catch you, right? So
Not a problem.
so I was like, it's okay, I can ask during the live cooking. So what does neutral oil mean? Like
What it means
it
is it
has
doesn't taste of
ah,
something. Because if you go for olive oil, I mean, it could be interesting if you're going to pair it with something that goes well with olive oil.
mm.
So the less the flavor, the better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
And I mean, avocado oil, which is Mexican, and it's Mexican pressed because I mean, we do have lots of avocados. At the beginning, it did taste like avocado, but now they came with a system that it really doesn't taste much. And so
Mm,
to me, it's ideal because it really does stand the heat.
mm,
So
yeah, that's important because olive oil doesn't really stand heat, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could go for corn, or you could go for sunflower,
Yeah,
or
we
you
have
could go
a lot of like
exactly canola. I mean, one
yeah,
that doesn't taste of
yeah, we
anything is better,
yeah.
unless you want the flavor. If you want the flavor, go with any oil you want. Okay, so it's a quarter of a cup. And what I do is I usually go by hand at this stage, but then I have burnt my hands um, a lot. So we're
Ah, okay.
going.
Okay. Lena, I think we're losing you. I hope the line gets better on your end because like on my side. Okay. All right. So what did you do just now? We just missed you because you were stuck for a moment there.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I just added the oil
Okay. Good. Good.
and I'm mixing it quickly.
Yeah, one thing like I think I have to let our users know that you have to mix it quickly. I actually forgot about it because like I was doing like the salsa verde at the same time. So like you have to mix it quickly. If not, the oil will actually absorb like a lump of the flour. So
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Something I do sometimes is I save, if the weather is very hot, what I do is I save my flour in the freezer for a bit before doing this.
Uh,
And that way it doesn't absorb as quickly.
oh, I didn't know that. That's a really good tip.
Yeah, it's tricks I've come up with um,
That's nice. I'm sure like our users will be uploading that trick like like within this week or this weekend. That's really good. I never knew that. Like I watch a lot of like shows on TVs and stuff, but that was
The
like
thing
the
is,
first time I heard.
when you're adapting a recipe, either from butter or lard, one of the things is it's the texture is so different, and the flour doesn't absorb it in the same way. And so,
Mm-hmm.
if your flour is very cold, it's going to go easier because it's not going to absorb in the same way.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, my flat is usually very warm, and so yes, I go for that trick. And so now, boiling water, and here you have to be careful because if your flour is very fresh, of course maybe you're going to need less, and if it's very old flour, maybe you're going to need more.
Okay.
And so here it's okay. I'm starting with half of it, and starting with okay. So looks like it was too much water. See,
Oh.
I got this flour yesterday, and I was like, maybe it's because rainy season started. So yeah, so I ruined this one, and I only went with half the water. So it's not a problem. We have lots of ingredients here. So I'm starting over,
Yeah,
and I just went with
very
quarter of a cup,
it's
and
a very
so
easy recipe as well. So like, I'm like I was so surprised like like I was so surprised at like looking at the steps and the ingredients. I was like, is it really this easy? And I
it
because
is.
when I move like I moved back to my hometown. So my hometown is not exactly like the city. Like I was staying in the city for more than 20 years, and I was like I can't find tortilla here. It's like it's something I take for granted. It's always available like in the city. So I'm like I was like, how do I make this? And if I knew it was like so easy to make homemade, I would have like made it
Yes,
before.
they are super, super easy. So what I did instead of starting from scratch is I added a bit more flour because I just go by texture. But I think it's going to be to need a tiny bit more of oil since oil is important here.
Is it only like oil that we can use? Like I know some of our users prefer butter than oil. Does it work, or it will be like different if we use butter? Like if we melt the butter instead of oil,
You
would it?
can use it. You can use butter. You can use ghee.
Ah,
Any, yeah. Only there's going to be the taste. I mean, so, but if that's what you're looking for, because I mean, here in Mexico City, this is a recipe from the north of Mexico,
okay.
and but here in Mexico City, most people will make them with butter,
Oh, okay.
because Mexico is like divided, like in the corn zone and the wheat zone.
Mm,
I'm originally from the wheat zone of Mexico,
I see.
but I live in the corn region, and so everything's different. But here, look. So it's like you have to knead it a bit, but not that much. You don't really want like lots of gluten to develop. It's not a bread; it's a flat
Mm,
bread. And so here, what I do is when you go like this, and it comes back a bit, it's ready. So
oh,
here I'm just dividing.
it doesn't take you long at all. I was like worried, like, am I needing this like enough, or or because like when I did the test that you suggested, it was like this is already like like it seems like the same as what you said, but it only took me a while to actually do it. So I was like, I wasn't sure whether it was correct, but like seeing you now, like it doesn't take long at all.
It doesn't
Yeah.
take long at all. Plus, it's going to rest. So that's going to help. Okay, so if you want small tortillas, you would go for 8. But if you want burrito tortillas, four, you can go for four. Okay, so today we're going for four. So that would go, so, and you need to go like so for a bit and let it rest. There. The weather is, it's been raining for 4 days. And so the weather, but you know all about that. We have similar weathers, right?
Yeah.
And so yes.
Here you go. Yeah. That is, Lena. That's a trick. That's a neat trick to make that thing. Like how you did it, like putting it inside that technique. I've never seen it, and I always have this problem of like like trying to make it into a ball and never being able to like sometimes I have some gaps or some like lines there. That trick is really neat. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
the thing
try
is,
that.
look at my cooking space. It's tiny. So I need to be like really clever and adapt everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like it gets crazy. Okay, so once they're like this, you just cover them with a clean something and they need to rest like for 15 minutes. So I'm putting them here and we're going to the salsa now. And it's already so it's hot and rainy. I don't need to tell you about our weather. It's what is so nice is we do share lots of similarities, right? And the weather is similar,
Yeah.
and the food we is similar,
Yeah.
and the utensils, the cooking utensils, are similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also use the mortar, and you also use the
Yes. Yes.
the grindstone, the one that
Yeah.
goes like
Yeah.
this.
We do.
We
We
use it
do.
as well.
Ah.
And they are super large, and women usually go on their knees and grind everything.
But I haven't seen like people light up their kitchen with this for some time now using the what do you call that? Apa mancis lah? Siapa tahu ada apa mancis dalam English?
So here I just use the mortar and pestle, and I do have a tiny one. I do have a tiny one. I usually I
Cute.
have the large one, but I had to find a small one because I mean it doesn't fit here. Plus, it's very convenient.
Okay, you need to ship that to me. Like I will pay for the shipping cost because that is like so cute. That is like the cutest like I've
Isn't
seen.
it? Look.
Yes, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be kan bahasa giling lah babe yang apa mancis. So I'm sure a lot of people will be like watching this and they would want that as well. Yeah, that is like super cute.
So on the recipe you saw, I use normal tomatillos,
Mm-hmm.
but these ones, I mean, they're like large like so, the ones that I used in the original recipe, and these are tomatillos de milpa, and they are super tiny and super flavorful. And these
Uh,
ones are already peeled. Originally, they were like this.
yeah, I think you should yeah, open it like they would love to see.
Exactly. So what we do is you just pull this like so.
It's so cute.
And they are a physalis. Actually, they're not a tomato.
I
And
see.
so, okay, so now we're roasting this. Let me see if you can see everything.
Yep, it looks good from
Okay,
here.
the onion. I like an oniony salsa. And here I'm using serrano chilies, but you can use any chili that you like.
Yeah, I was like about to say like is there a substitute because like our local chili looks something like this. So this is how our local chili like
Oh, but
this.
that's a serrano. It's
Oh
the same
really?
chili.
I
Yeah.
see. And I saw this like this is like a Charleston chili. I'm like, okay, it sounds something like from the US and
No, but that's a Mexican one. Here, it's the same one. Here, it's called chilaca.
oh
Um,
And also like, there's like this is
and
jalapeno.
that's a jalapeno.
Yeah, jalapeno. So I
Yeah,
was like,
you can use any chili you want.
I see.
If you like if you like the taste of it, use it.
I was actually using jalapeno just now. I was like making my salsa verde. I wasn't sure which chili, so I was like when I was like googling, they were like saying oh you can substitute it with jalapeno. So I grabbed some, and I'm actually gonna use the local chili. I think it's nicer because it's spicier. I always
Yes.
thought jalapeno was
I
spicy.
like this one because it's spicy,
Yeah,
but it tastes of
yeah,
something. Oh, I
yeah.
should have bought the edible chiles so that you saw them. I'll send a photograph to you. They are
Okay.
tiny, they're small, and they're green as well, but they're so spicy. I just can't. They're too much for me. Okay, and the garlic. And so here it's a boring process,
Yeah.
but what we are really looking for is char. We are very much into charred food.
It looks
Plus,
so yeah.
look here, it's starting.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know. You see
fast.
this?
I guess because it's like smaller in size, so it's like it's faster for them to like
But no, but look, this one is starting as well.
oh
And so you just turn them around for 10 to 15 minutes, depending. The other salsa I made, it took about 20 minutes because the tomatillos were so big,
yeah.
and you're really trying to cook them. Cook them, but not cook them, because they're going to finish the cooking with the residual heat afterwards.
I really want to taste like the authentic salsa verde. I actually found canned tomatillo, but I'm not sure whether the taste is the same. Like because like if it's canned, I'm not sure whether they put the
Yes,
salt
if they're
or
canned, you can use them. You can't roast them, but you can use them. That's the difference. This one is called salsa asada. That means charred salsa. But you can also go with salsa cocida, and that you can go with the tomatillos in a can. You only need to roast the onion, the garlic, and the chilies, and that's it.
yeah, yeah.
But
Wow.
this is
Nice.
my favorite, and I don't make it um, often enough. I need to confess that.
It's so easy. I'm I always hear it sounds fancy, like when we like when we hear all these foreign words and it sounds very nice, like for example like chimichangas. It sounds so nice, like but like when you actually look at the recipe, especially the ones that are like home cooked, it's actually like super easy to make.
Yes, they are easy. They are usually time consuming, but easy.
Yep, yep,
Because
yep.
the resting times are like really important in Mexican cooking. And one of the interesting things about Mexican cooking is that like the most important part of the food for us is broth, which is a base for everything. And that of course takes very long time, and salsa.
Yeah.
The rest is not, unless you're making a mole, which usually takes about 2 days to make.
Wow.
Um, yeah, because you need to roast everything. And when you go for mole, you usually go like for, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 kilos of mole paste. You don't do
Mm,
that very often because it takes a lot. It takes a long time. You need to roast everything and put everything apart, and plus your broth. The broth is very, very important in a mole, and it takes 4 hours so that everything's concentrated. So
uh,
yeah,
okay, I have to shout out to Come. We have one a guy author who actually submitted a mole recipe because this week is like Mexican country of the week. So remember, Come, it takes 2 days to make the authentic mole. Okay.
yes, it does. It does, and it's like tamales. When you said tamales, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, but they do. It's like 5 or 6 hours. When you go for tamales, you make 100. And
Oh,
just the cooking, because it's a steam bread, it takes like 2.5 hours.
oh,
Just the steaming. Plus you have to make the filling. Plus you have to make the
is it like tamales, right? Because I can't remember who mentioned that day that one of the Mexican recipes that you guys actually eat for breakfast is tamales. So, is it like leftover sort of like recipe, like
no,
because
people buy them. People
ah,
people usually buy them.
I
When you make tamales, it's because you have a special party. So when you decide they're roasted enough, you start taking some of them out and you leave the others. Something that is very important is that these don't burst, because if they burst, they are bitter. But you can make this with tomatoes as well.
yeah.
You can either go with green tomatoes or you can go with red tomatoes. And usually what I do when I'm doing this with tomatoes is I quarter them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
But
that
okay, but then if we were doing this with like red tomato, it wouldn't be a verde anymore, right? Because
it would be what?
verde. Am
No,
I
it
pronouncing it
would be
right?
salsa roja. It would be a
Ah,
salsa roja, red salsa.
like
But I mean, the technique is the same.
verde just means green, right?
Exactly.
That's from my understanding.
Exactly. And some salsa rojas are made with these. But
Ah,
then you go with dried chilies, which are red,
mhm.
and so it becomes a red salsa. But it's technically a green salsa because it's made with green tomatillos.
Oh, I wanted to ask. I keep forgetting this. You're using this like the pan technique to roast, right? Is it possible if our users let's say they want to save time, or they really prefer to roast in an oven, like is that
No,
possible? Or
no, 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 not for this.
okay.
Not for this. This you have to go for 15 minutes like this. Um, I mean, what you could do is maybe with a torch, char
That,
them with a torch, and then put them to rest. 'Cause, I
oh,
mean,
that's
one of the things
possible.
is they really do need direct heat.
I see. So torch is possible. That's good. I have to remember that because I just got a torch for creme brulee.
You can
And
use it for this. You can use it.
awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm still gonna try it.
Okay, so most of these are ready, but not all of them. Okay, so this can go here. One of the thing about these tiny ones is they're so much quicker, and that's why when I saw them, I said, okay, we're going for these. This one's almost ready. My chili is ready.
Just on medium heat, right?
No, it's super hot.
Oh, okay. It has to be super hot.
Yes, yes. Actually, I'm using a pan, but we would use a comal, which is like
Um, is it like an iron cast?
no. It's not iron. Usually, it's earthenware.
Okay, let me see.
But there's in modern times, of course, yes, we do. Okay, so now that you have everything like this, you have to cover it
Mhm.
because it's going to sweat and the residual heat is going to finish cooking everything. And they need to get cold. So this needs to stay here like for 15 minutes. Some people put these in a plastic bag and close it.
Oh, okay.
But I find it's more practical here. And you will see that it's good. Some juices are going to get out, but we're going to see that in 15 minutes. Okay, so this is done. And now we need to start. Let me check the tortillas because I think, Yeah, they're good to go. So let's go back.
I'm just gonna go through the comments.
Okay, so there's another salsa that just uses the chilies, nothing but chilies, garlic, onion. You do the exact same thing, and then you go with oil, and
Oh,
that's another green salsa.
oh, okay, nice.
That
Uh,
if you like super spicy food, that's the one for you.
well, Malaysians, they just love their spicy food, so I guess they will try that one as well. Yeah.
Yes, they will, and you just have to go the exact same way. But when you're pounding it,
Mhm.
you just add oil. That there you can go with olive oil, and
Mm,
and it's so good.
yeah, because we actually have our like we actually bake this on a daily basis. Like it's just like the ingredients are different, and we don't actually roast. Probably some do, but I know like majority of us we don't actually roast the chilies or the tomatoes. So we actually do this like on a daily basis using the red tomatoes and using the red chili. So yeah, I'm sure everyone will
Yes,
try.
well, actually, you can do the exact same salsa just using red tomatoes. It's the
Nice.
exact same thing. So yes, it's amazing how similar our cuisines are.
Yeah, it's so similar. Everyone like really having fun, like matches. So I was like I was asking Rosita what was like the name for munches, and it was like matches. So I was like I haven't seen someone light up the stove with matches like in a long time. Okay, so someone was asking
Yes,
about oh,
mine is usually has a button, but it broke, and
yeah.
I rent. And since I rent, I didn't want to change the stove, and that's why I go with matches. It does have a button, but it doesn't work.
So everyone is like excited looking at your grinder, your pestle and mortar. They're like, it's so cute. I've never seen it before because like we don't have the ones with legs. I don't have it now with me, but it's usually the bottom is like a heavy base. So that was
Yes.
like, cute having that
Yes,
thin.
ours, all of our mortars have legs.
Oh really?
And they yes, and some usually they are the legs, and it's always three legs, always.
Ah,
And sometimes they're just like so, and
yeah.
sometimes they have a little sculpture. So it can be a dog, it can be um, a skull.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like the skull is for that sugar skull. I wanted to ask you like there were so many interesting recipes that we wanted to try, and it's like we're so happy that you squeezed time for two menus today
It's
because
my
like there was like
pleasure.
sugar skull. There was like chili and nagada. I'm not sure whether I'm
Yes,
yeah.
chile en nogada.
It was like what chili do you use for
Oh,
that?
that's a poblano chile.
Oh, okay.
And the salsa is the sauce that you use. Well, actually, let's start from the start. It's a poblano chile. This still need a couple of minutes. A poblano chile that you roast like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put in a bag and you peel it, and you
Mm-hmm.
take the insides out, and then you go for it's a picadillo, but it's a sweet picadillo that uses usually it's half pork, half beef meat,
Yeah.
with lots of fruit and nuts in it,
Mm-hmm.
and some pears and peaches. Peaches are already starting the season, but that's a rainy season dish, and then you make a sauce out of fresh nuts
Mm-hmm.
they just picked from the tree, and so they're not bitter. They are like white and tender,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's that either with goat cheese or with cream,
Oh,
and
nice.
then you top it with pomegranate.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, oh my god, I can't get the image out of my head. And I was like, but is it only poblano that we can use? Is there any other
Yes,
chili?
yes. Chiles en nogada, it's the only chili you can use.
Okay. All right. I have to get my hands on some poblanos, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
the
if you can find them, I really, really, really recommend it. Because I mean, you can of course go like for ground chicken or ground
yeah, yeah,
turkey
yeah.
or ground beef.
Yeah, we
Um,
love like lamb here, so I'm sure they can,
Lamb, I don't think would work in
Oh,
this one.
really? For this
No, it
one?
would not. Because
Okay, that's good to know.
because
That's good to
because
know.
you're working. The most important part there is like the sweetness of it,
Yep, yep.
and for lamb you would need to add like more spices. And here,
Mm,
like the most important part of it is the fruit and nuts. Actually, some parts of Mexico just go like for fruits and nuts, and that's the filling.
I see.
But then the season usually starts on August the 20th, more or
Mm,
less. It's
mm,
when you start getting the first nuts.
I see. Okay.
Pomegranates are just starting. I just saw the first ones, and I mean that's so exciting. But we don't have the other ingredients. The poblano chilies during the rainy season get larger,
Okay.
and that's also a reason why. And right now they are small, so you
Okay.
don't. One of the interesting parts is you get to eat one chili. It's like a huge,
Uh,
thing filled with
no,
goodies.
I was like all the pictures that I see, it was like on a plate. It was like just one chili. So I was like, it never crossed my mind that it's actually a large chili. So I was like thinking maybe just like for the sake of photography or something, they just put like one chili there. Maybe it looks nicer that way. So okay, now I know.
Yes, usually families just make them once a year because they really do get expensive. Because the
Yeah.
nuts, since they're fresh, they're hard to open, they're
Mm.
hard to peel. So you can't have the skin on the nut. It's just like the white part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And usually when you cook them, you go like, okay, everybody comes, and I'm going for 20 chilies. You don't go all that work for one chili. You go to a restaurant and get it. That's for sure. Actually, I haven't made en nogada chiles
Oh,
since
really?
for a couple of years now, and this year I don't think I'm going to make them either, since I can't have lots of friends over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but those times will come back to us, so it's okay. Okay, so let's start with our tortilla. So this is well rested, as you can see.
So how do you know that it's ready? Because I heard you were saying that it's not ready yet. So how do you see whether it was ready?
Oh, they get like a bit shinier,
Oh, okay.
and that's all. So okay, so here's the secret. I have never been able to get around one. You should know that.
Yeah,
So don't
I was
be.
having problems. I like
Yeah,
mine.
so don't worry if they are not round. The important part is that they taste good.
Yeah, mine was like no round, and it was like there's circles here and there. So I was like, how do you make this round? But then
I
again,
can't. I can't. I can't. I have never ever been able to make them round.
I think like
That's
bakers will know the tricks or something. Yeah.
so one of the tricks would be to turn them and turn them and turn them. But still, I can't look. This one is. It's not a handsome tortilla, but I guarantee it's a tasty one.
And also, like, I wanted to ask you about this. Like when I was like looking at it, right? There's this like white spots on it. Like I wanted to ask you whether it was okay, but when I was like looking at your step pictures, right? I saw like
Yes, it's okay.
yeah.
It's
So
okay.
yeah. So I wanted to like let our users know that don't worry if you see the white spot, it's fine. And Lena has also confirmed that it's fine if you see the white
Yes, it
spot.
is. Yes, it is. Look, mine does have white. Uh, I don't know. Let me see if I look. It does have
Yeah.
some white spots.
I-
It's perfectly normal. I'm not good at this. The space is so tiny that I just can't, navigate it.
Yeah, but we have one left, so I'm not sure whether this so. But I got you.
So one of the things that is okay, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
got a few white spots here and there.
But I think how long has yours rested?
I rested for 30 minutes. I followed the recipe.
Okay.
Yeah, I waited for 30
Okay,
minutes.
one of the things that is important, and that's why I don't overknead them, because if you overknead them, when you're trying to go like so, they come back. That means that they developed a lot of gluten, and you don't
Oh,
need that. That's why I go so fast and just let them rest.
I see. And also, like, I wanted to ask you, like, how thin do you roll it? Like, I was like, just
Depending on your region. Some people like them like to be chubby, and some people like them to be like super, super. Me, I like them a bit chubby.
okay.
And it's so funny because I mean in Monterrey, in northern Mexico, we call them gordas de harina. That means flour fatties
Oh,
because they are not super flat. When you buy them, they are tortillas de harina, but when you make them, they are usually I'm making gordas de harina because
okay.
they're a bit fat. Okay, so this one should be. I usually go for a smaller size, and that way I can eat more tortillas without the guilt. That's the modern woman's problem. And but here, okay, so we're going this way.
Like, no oil, nothing, right? Just
Nothing, because it already has enough fat in them, so that you don't need to look. Right now, I need to turn it. Why? Because it
oh,
already developed tiny spots.
oh. So as soon as it develops tiny,
Exactly. Look.
I was like asking, like, because some of mine, I was waiting for it to like really bubble.
Okay, so you went for a tostada. Look, and right now I can see here there's a bump. That
Yeah.
means I can turn it again because I have a skin on both sides. And once you have a skin on both sides, they, you know, and
You
also
can
I
turn
think
as
I think
many
my
times.
pan is a bit too hot.
Oh,
Look,
okay, okay. Because I was like thinking like because some like of the recipe that calls for this, right, you can only flip it once. So I was like I was like, should I flip it now? But it's already like, having those puffs in
yeah,
the middle. So
yeah.
this is
Okay, now I flip it again, and now it should go if I did everything correctly. But I don't think so because I think my pan is too hot.
I see. Okay, so you can flip it a lot of times.
Exactly.
Oh, I know. Okay. And
The ones that you and not even the corn tortillas, you also do you go immediately once it seals, you turn it, and once it seals on the other side, you turn it again, and then it goes like poof. Okay, so this one wanted to poof a bit. If you want to help them poof, you go like so, and for some reason it just opens it a bit.
oh, okay. Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
The first one is usually not the best.
So, first you have to develop the skin. So you can flip it as many times as long as it's bubbling a bit. Just flip until it forms.
Exactly. And usually in families, there would be one person just doing tortillas here and another person just rolling the tortillas out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. I love like families like cooking together in the kitchen. So it's like, you're doing this and
At
I will.
least it was like that in my family, but also we're like the smallest part of the family. I just have a brother and a sister, and we don't live in northern Mexico, but I do have Oh, sorry about that. I
No
have
worries.
18 cousins, and we all came together, in summers.
That's nice.
Okay, so this one is not perfect, but it's already cooked and it's good. So what do we do is we put them.
Oh, I actually forgot this step, like to put it
Yes,
on
you
the.
need to cover it so that it steams a bit and
Mm,
it doesn't become hard.
okay.
Okay, so let's go for a second one.
But how do we know if it's cooked? Like how would I know if the tortilla is cooked
If
already?
it smells raw, it's not cooked.
Okay.
That's the way I usually go.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so I'm so sorry because I do have oily hands from
No
this.
worries. Your
Okay.
counter is so tiny. It's like it's so easy to clean up after. I'm so sure
Yes.
you have like just that amount of space that you need to clean out after. I would cook
Okay.
a lot in
A
eating.
variant of this recipe is you can add sugar to it, and
Oh,
then sugar and just go like this size and like so,
yeah.
and you cook them, and they are called gorditas.
So do we put the sugar like after like once
No,
you
with the flour, you
oh,
add flour, sugar, the salt. You always go with the salt and baking powder, and you just
yeah.
cook them like so. And if you go with butter, they're so good.
Oh, that's so good. Like how much sugar are we talking about? Like
I don't know. You could go like maybe a quarter of a cup, depending on.
that much. I was like thinking like tablespoon or something. So quarter of the cup. Okay. Okay. I'm so gonna try it. I'm so gonna
And
try it.
and in your case, I would go with palm sugar because we use
Oh yeah.
we use raw sugar, please.
Oh, palm sugar would be so yum.
It
That
would
would be
be
so
so delish. Yes, I
yeah.
know.
Okay. I'm like so mesmerized watching you cook. I didn't even read like all this comments. Let me just go through it. Everyone is asking for like the link. Like, do you have Amazon link to buy that pestle and mortar? I don't want one.
No, these you buy in the street.
Oh, that's so nice.
I will look for an Amazon link for you, but I can send it to you. Come on.
I'm so happy. Everyone wants one. Like all the users, like, give me a link. Give me a link for that.
No, no, because these are artisan made, and you buy them in the street. You go like to the market, and they
Oh,
sell them. And we do have ones for kids. They are tiny, like so, and you just grind like one
I
tomato.
want, I want the kids one as well.
Yeah, the kids ones are amazing. I used to have everything for kids. I had this. I have, and it's everything's the pestle is like so tiny, tiny, tiny.
So cute.
Today is a market day, so if I can squeeze the time, I'll go and take photographs and send them to you, and you're going to
Awesome.
love.
I will share it to the group. Like they are like all going crazy. Like there's like a small tiny cute.
Yes, the ones for kids are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now my temperature's better. I can hear it. See, it's just a tiny, and
Oh,
now I turn it because it's sealed. I'm so sorry, I'm sweating because
don't
even though
worry.
it's very gray and raining, my kitchen saves like lots of heat. Okay, see, it got a bit puffier. So now I turn it, but I need to get my heat a bit up. And while we see this, look, there's already juices.
Hmm. Yep.
That means everything's cooking properly.
So if there's without like juice, so like you haven't cooked it enough.
Exactly. They are not hot enough.
Okay. Okay, I need to do this. Like, we're getting so many comments. Like, this is the first time we're getting like almost 100 comments.
Oh, I'm
Every
so happy that you're liking it.
Yeah, like at first we were concerned. Like, we were talking to Becky as well. Like, we were concerned. Like, it might be too late and it might be too early for you as well to cook. So like, it's great like knowing everyone's is like tuned in, because at this hour everyone like all of the work like housework and stuff. It's like our um uh is time that we rest right now, so everyone can actually enjoy like watching you cook from all the way from Mexico.
I'm so happy because I mean it's perfect. It would be complicated if you said, okay, so cook some fish at 9 a.m. So maybe I would be like, no, I'm not happy about that. But this, I mean, I'm getting ready for breakfast.
Yeah, and you were saying like you can just eat this with the salsa, right?
Exactly. Well, not these.
Oh, not the.
The green salsa is usually from central Mexico.
Yeah.
So I would go for a corn tortilla
I
and
see.
not for a flour tortilla.
Ah. So the corn tortilla, the difference is only in the corn flour, like not the corn flour, sorry, cornmeal, right? Cornmeal, do we
No, it's
call that?
not cornmeal. I'll show it to you in a bit. Something is wrong
Okay.
today with the temperatures and the weather. They're not.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
I know, but they're so good. They're so good. But
Yeah,
sometimes they just don't go like. Maybe it's the flour because I didn't test this flour. I was out of flour and I bought some yesterday. And this morning when I opened it, I was like, oh, this feels a bit humid. But it's still edible and it's still super tasty. And okay, so I'm saving this one with the other one. And another trick, if you want to keep them for longer, you put always some fabric so that it absorbs the. Am I still with you? Hello.
yep.
Oh, perfect. I had frozen.
I'm like,
So you put them in a fabric thing, but then in a plastic bag so that it sweats and keeps tender. Okay, so
I'm so mesmerized like watching you cook, right? I actually like didn't read through the messages, like in case if there's someone who's asking any question. But everyone so far, as I'm scrolling through, they're like so in love with that pesto and mortar. The grinder is so cute. Yeah, in terms of cooking, they were saying like it's so similar, like the ingredients that we use is like, and the combination of ingredients we use is exactly the same. It's like,
it is
yeah,
exactly, yes. Yes, maybe we use different spices
yeah, yeah.
and but that's it, I think. And one of the peculiarities of central Mexican cooking, once the rainy season sets, is with lots of plants.
Mm,
In our diet, there were not lots of meat. There were insects, but
yeah,
I think you have insects as well, if
yeah,
I remember correctly. That means you're civilized. Because I mean, it's the future of nutrition. So let's eat insects, and lots of herbs. But meats such as cows or pigs were introduced in the 15th century, 16th century. We just had like, we ate birds, we ate fish, and
mm,
maybe a wild boar, and one kind of dog breed that was special for eating, but the rest of it was plants. So rainy season to us is like our main season for cooking. Okay, so Here we go again. With a bit of luck, this one has the right temperature. And what I'll do is
Wow, the chats are going like so fast. I actually can't keep up. But it's fun. Like this is like one of the most engaging and most lively live cooking that we had like so far.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just
And
go for this one, and we're going to the salsa because I don't want to make this too long for you because I know it's late. Okay, so this one's working. Now we have the right temperature.
okay, so how do I know if I got the right temperature? Like what am I looking for?
If you get bumps, you have the right temperature.
Okay,
You
so I'm
don't,
seeing
but
the
look,
stuff
this one,
that that like
you can barely see them, but they're there.
mm,
How it goes back.
okay.
Okay, and so one last turn.
Is it meant to be flat or are we supposed to have those fatty bumps? Like
Now that these are supposed to be flat.
okay. Someone was talking about um taco shell. It's common here, but I don't think like anyone knows how to like make it like homemade taco shell.
No, taco shells are not Mexican.
Oh, okay.
Taco shells are American, and they're with a different corn. They're with the yellow corn.
I see. Okay. Think like
Okay,
we always watch like American movies or comedians and they're always like buying like tacos from like in the shows or so like for us.
yes, taco shells, and they're so tasty. I love them. I love them, but they are not Mexican.
I see.
And you can't find them here. You can't find them here. I mean, you need to go to Texas, which is like the nearest spot for me, since the city I was born in is an hour away from Texas and 10 hours away from Mexico City. So, yeah. I always say northern Mexican cooking is more similar to Mexican American cooking. But we also need to take into account that all the south of the United States was Mexico up until very recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I just have to
it's
remember.
Mexican, but it's Mexican American.
Okay.
Okay, so now I go to the mortar, and you already know this, I guess, that you go with the salt first because it helps you grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this I don't need to teach you. And then I usually start with the garlic and the chilies.
I cheated and use my food processor. Just
Well, you can actually do this in a food processor. And look, it's so tender.
Yeah.
It
Like
squishes super fast.
I actually love roasted
So
garlic.
my garlic is ready, and then you go with the chilies. You do remove this, of course.
I love roasted garlic. It's
Oh, so do I.
when you roast it, it makes the garlic sweet. Like yeah, I'm in love with roasted garlic.
And look, it's super quick.
Yeah. So it's cooking correctly. Everything like just nice together.
And then you get some onion. The onion is like the hardest bit for some reason, always. I'm sorry.
Normal. We hear this like on a daily basis.
And here I roasted more garlic than I needed. But garlic, I mean onion. But that allows you for customization. So if you wanted, here, with what we have here, you start adding oil and pounding, and that's a salsa verde.
Ah, okay.
It also depends on the chilies. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good.
I can imagine. I was like making it just now, and I was like, okay, I have to make it right before the show. I wish you guys could smell it too.
Okay, so I'm just going for this amount of onion. And once you go like this, you have two options. If you like your coriander, cilantro, to be not visible, you would go now
Ah, okay.
and pound it as well. But right now we're making it different. I'm adding it at the end just because it looks pretty and
So they were
okay.
saying you are just like squashing it. So one of the users, no, Arifin, was saying like, oh, you're just squashing it. If it's in the Malaysia, right, we'll be like banging that thing like crazy. We'll be pounding it like with all our might.
Because they are cooked. And
Ah,
that's why you can go like, of course, right now I would go like, one of the things is some of our salsas do have texture in them and you want chunks. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
do like having chunks in my salsa. Otherwise, I would go like, we can go for that. Some people just want it to be paste-like,
Mm.
but since they're cooked, they're already paste-like.
Yeah, it's like so easy.
And so now I'm starting adding our tomatillos.
Mm.
And since they're tiny as well, they're going to be like such a joy and such a breeze because they're cooked.
Yeah. And they were like, there's another comment saying like another user was saying the it's not that how do you say, it's not that deep, the hole, your grinder's hole is not that deep because like for
Yes,
us
because this one is small. I do
ah
have another one, but I don't have it here because I don't have a place to fit it.
yeah yeah
I left it at my mom's. It's big like so. But that would mean for me to make like 3 kilograms of salsa.
oh wow
And you can find, I'm taking all those photographs because sometimes you can find mortars that are huge like this. And
wow
like, this tall. And people make salsa in those when they're feeding like the whole town.
I think we have to like we have to actually pound it because like our chicken we don't roast or we don't cook it like beforehand. So it's like if we don't pound it, it doesn't actually like break or it doesn't like melt.
Exactly. But these are cooked. We also have the raw salsa. It's called salsa cruda.
Mm.
And then you have to go like crazy, pounding everything, raw garlic. In those,
Yeah, raw
those
garlic.
you have raw garlic, raw chilies, and raw tomatillos. No onion in the raw ones. When it comes to the mortar, if you want onion, you have to chop it and add it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's impossible.
Yeah. So you call it salsa there, right? So over here we call it sambal. It sounds almost similar as well.
And here, depending on the quantity of salsa you want and on the spiciness, you can start checking. If I wanted something really, really, really spicy, I would stop here.
Mm,
Because it's enough salsa for 1 or 2 people that I would be feeding. And if I really like super spicy, this would be it.
okay. will try and mix it again with the local chili because like the ones the jalapeno I use was like I can't even find like any hint of spiciness. I actually don't eat spicy food like that much. I can eat some level of spiciness, but this one was like I was actually trying to find the heat. I can't find the heat at all.
Exactly. You have the flavor, but not the heat. That's the way
Yeah.
I like it. I bet right now it's super hot. Let me see if I can. Oh, it's too much for me. But most people would go for this ratio. And look, I only used like
Oh.
not even half of them. But here
Yeah,
it depends on your taste. It depends on your
yeah,
taste.
yeah. I think that could be their level. Yeah.
I mean, it's super tasty, but oh, no. And of course, you can go in the blender or you can go in the food processor.
Yeah, I
Most
think
people, most people in modern Mexico don't own a mortar.
mm, I have my food processor, but I still need my motor. So they were
Meat
saying like,
is
when they were googling, like one of the users are saying like whenever they Google for like Mexican food, it's like taco is like the most thing that's like that comes out. So yeah,
well,
I also forgot to I also didn't reveal to our users that one of the interesting thing that from the all hands from the Mexico all hands was that uh no avocado when you are doing guacamole, like the
no
original
lime.
does not include lime. So I was like talking to Rosita as well about that. I'm like, probably those that put lime, because lime usually just doesn't make the avocado go brown so easily. But like if I'm making like my portion right now, it would have been finished. Like, it wouldn't have like time
Exactly. The
to
thing is,
run out.
you make guacamole right before you eat it. You
Yeah,
never
exactly.
ever save it for later.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
that's a good thing because like sometimes lime is hard to go by to come by and like when we buy lime and we don't use it up, it becomes brown. So
I know.
yeah. So don't worry. Like the original recipe does not, like does not even include lime if you're doing guacamole.
And
It
right
was so
now,
interesting. Yeah, it was so interesting.
I
The
want my
Mexico.
cilantro to be apparent. So, since I didn't add it beforehand, because I want a different appearance. This one I already washed, I already disinfected. Okay. You just chop it. Right. This should be enough. You add it last minute. You mix it and you're done. Okay. So let me show you this salsa. There's no water. You could add water in it
Mm.
and go in the blender, and that's also a Mexican salsa.
Oh.
So I mean, it's just a technique. But
But
here, see,
I
I like it
like
chunky.
now it like I didn't put any water, but I think that the texture is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, the texture is so good. But you can add water. Okay. And I do have a trick for you that I want to share because I know you can find green salsa in a can.
Yep.
So this trick is very important to you. If you want it to taste fresh, what you do is you chop some onions, chop some coriander, and mix it with your salsa. And that way, it's going to taste like a salsa cocida,
Okay.
and it's a fresh salsa, straight from the can. So
Ah,
that's an important trick. That's an important trick.
yeah, we have a lot of Mexican ingredients here.
Yes,
So
I know. You have Mission, right? And you have La Costeña as well.
yep,
Yes.
we do.
So yes, so whenever you want a salsa from a can to taste fresh,
Yeah,
just add fresh
add the
onions
wow,
and
that
coriander, and
nice.
that makes it so much more authentic. That's what Mexicans do when they live abroad.
Oh, really? That's a
Yes.
really good trick. Yeah, that's a really good. I'm actually gonna add that tip as well.
And so now
So
it's,
just well, I just take the canned salsa and I'll just put in chopped onions and chop
yes,
awesome.
that's another one. So there's another guacamole.
Yeah.
That's a guacamole salsa.
Mhm.
And it usually goes with a green salsa with avocado bits in it.
Yep. Oh, I have avocados.
So that as well, you go from a can. So
Yeah.
you add tomato, you add onions, you add coriander, and you add avocado. And this
Nice.
is my salsa is picture ready.
Yeah. I
I'm
think
sorry, but you do know we do know at Cookpad we're
yeah. that that mota would be perfect. I'll just snap it from the mota itself. So that is great. This is like a really this from this session. I think like our country of the week will finish this Sunday. I think by Sunday I would have like just adding like a few things and omitting a few things. I think I would have maybe probably five Mexican recipes by Sunday. It's
so
awesome. I have
nice.
avocado, yeah. I have avocado. I have like all the things. I even ooh, so pretty. Everyone's angry right now. Everyone's like, I want it.
It smells super good. It really does. So
I
do
think
you have any questions? Do you have any comments?
yeah, I think no questions. I think like everyone is happy because it is similar to what we do. We use the same tools as well. So it's like they're happy because right now what we're trying to do using Coopet passport, right? So like everyone has their own passport. Like whenever they cook a recipe from a different country, they'll get a visa stamp from that
Yes.
country. And everyone's crazy because right now nobody can travel, nobody can get out of the house.
I
So this is their
know.
escape. So everyone is like so happy. Like our users in Malaysia, they're so happy they get to travel through food. And this session, especially having all the country community managers like showing because to be honest reading it from the recipe and I followed your recipe and watching you cook live, it's totally different. There's like things that sometimes we miss out, or maybe like we actually don't write it down because like we cook it often, so you wouldn't know it makes a difference in other countries and stuff. So it's really awesome like having this session with you. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I do miss traveling as well.
Yeah,
It's so
everyone's
sad.
happy.
But we will get there. We will get there.
We'll get there definitely. So everyone is saying oh since like they're watching this, actually they get to travel to Mexico a lot because the ingredients are almost the same. We have it available here. We always have avocados here, like even if it's not from there, like we have like from Indonesia. Indonesia produce avocados as well, so it's not that expensive for us. And like they're so happy. Like now they get to travel and learn new recipes from Mexico. It's so awesome. Thank you so much, Lena, for spending
No,
your
thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Any questions, just send a message,
oh
leave a comment
everyone,
on the recipes if you need them.
yeah,
And
everyone is looking for your Cookpad ID. Everyone wants to follow you. I guess
oh, my Cookpad ID. Let me tell you in a second. I don't know it by heart. Since we have the new ones, I'm at Lena.
yeah, yeah,
I
Lena.
was I was quick and I won it. But my ID is, I'll tell you in a second.
Okay, one question from Kam is what's the difference between tortilla chip and nachos?
Okay, so nachos. Nachos are made from steak tortillas that you cut in triangles and fry. So far, it's the same thing, the tortilla chips and the nachos. The nachos are usually prepared
Mhm.
with things, and the tortilla chip you could use for just eating salsa like this. The nachos, again, it's not sure if it's Northern Mexican or Southern American, but they usually involve American cheese, melted American cheese,
Mhm.
um, jalapenos, meat,
Mm, yep,
and
yep.
the tortilla chips are just tortilla chips.
I see. Okay. Everyone says thank you. Um, looks so yummy. Everybody's can't wait to try and cook snap. They're looking for your ID also
Yes,
because they
my
want to send
ID.
snaps. Yeah, they want to send your
I'm looking for my public profile. So it would be 61
okay.
28
61
49
49
8
61 61. Let me just
two
write it.
eight two
Two,
eight
yeah,
49
49
8.
8. Okay. Awesome. This is great. Thank you so much for preparing it so early in the morning. Like
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
thank you. We really love this session. Like I hope we can spend like more time actually like cooking. Like sometimes we do like so many things, but we actually don't do the actual cooking. So
I know. That's why I always say. I mean, I have never ever cooked so little.
yeah.
Uh, but yes, I love it. I love it, and I would love to. Oh, another trick is the juices at the end. You
Yeah.
add them to your
Yeah.
salsa
Yeah. You can add the
because the
juices.
flavor is there. Oops, sorry
So
about that.
it's so nice. Everyone saying thank you. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much for spending the time. Like everyone's so happy, and like they can't wait to try it. It looks really delicious. Thank you so much, Lena. Thank you for spending your morning with us with Malaysians.
Thank you, Sasha. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
If anytime you need you need me to return the favor, please do not just drop me a message.
I won't do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.